And we're back. So earlier on today, before the music recital, I recall trying to capture some of the brilliance of this display, but I have been informed reliably by the organisers of the event that this media will be made available and in more detail. So for those of us who are unable to visit, we'll be able to look in detail at these pictures. And to be honest, each display in itself is so detailed that you could spend quite a lot of time just on one page. There's a lot of information here and some significant events. So where were we? We were in around the 1910s we were, and then Sikhs starting to settle across various towns along the railway lines. And then we're moving into the 1920s. In the 20s, various world events, pictures of children in schools, pilots. We have some very dignified pictures of Sikhs serving across different civic posts. This is an overwhelming amount of information here. I couldn't possibly hope to summarise it. But all the way through to the 2010s, and at the very top there's a very nice display of all of the year's significant events in each year, and also at the bottom there's these additions to the displays, which have got various books and shields. I really need to find somebody who knows this exhibition well. I'm hoping that tomorrow we can come back. Perhaps we'll have a guide. This is about the Charter for Forgiveness and Reconciliation, the International Symposium on Forgiveness and Reconciliation in 2014. It's very important to have a charter. Religions for Peace, Foundation for Peace, Guru Nanak Nishkam Seva Jatan Fetsa Institute. All of these organisations, brilliant organisations working together for a common aim. These are 24 spiritual and moral dispositions. In 2007, Birmingham City UK's Council and the Standing Advisory Committee on Religious Education worked closely with the Faith Leaders Group, an organisation representing faith communities from within the city, to identify 24 spiritual and moral dispositions. Wow, this is very interesting. So please Google this. Google is your friend. So type in 24 spiritual and moral dispositions. I'm hoping that this list will come up. There's so much detail on here, but they're fantastic. All the way from being imaginative and explorative to being silent and attentive to and cultivating a sense for the sacred and transcendence. That's right. I can read. So expressing joy, being thankful, all these wonderful spiritual and moral dispositions, something to search for. A positive use of technology. So Google is your friend. Please do look for that. This is one poster on one board, and just looking at the amount of information on it, it's incredible. To think of the amount of effort that went into these organisations, the amount of time that would be required is quite something. So this is the conservation group that hopefully tomorrow morning they've kindly asked us to accompany them to plant trees. So I'm hoping that we're going to be able to go with them tomorrow morning. So please do tune in for that as well. And you can find out more about their eco initiatives, and it'll be a great trip. Approximately 40 people going, so that should be good. Will be good. It'll be great. It's okay. It's all right. Very nice pictures. Ajab, come get closer. Have a nice look. Ajab, please. Carry on, no problem at all.
Good pair of hands, that is. Good pair of hands. No problem. United Nations last year, 2015, released 17 goals, sustainable development goals. One of the goals is zero hunger. That inspired me to go out and search where in the world there's hunger and where we can apply Langar to end hunger.
Let's watch on video.
Langar project in places of education, so kids do not have to go and work in tobacco fields, so they can stay in school where they can learn, be educated, and one day be socially and economically mobile. Thank you for joining the movement. Right now we need you to help us spread the message and join as creative problem solvers with a mission to end world hunger with Langar. $870 million people around the world are hungry. 870 million.
I used to come to the UK almost every
That's more than the combined populations of the United States, Canada and the Europeans. And these people are from all ages. From babies whose mothers can't produce enough milk to the elderly who have no relative to care.
exhibition, World Travel Market.
What people don't realise is that emergency aid only accounts for less than 8% of hunger victims in the world. The rest of the 870 million, they don't know.
Sorry?
Zero hunger with Langar is here for those people. We are going out to those rural communities in East Africa to help raise them, to help spread food and freedom to every single person who needs it. It's all about giving a hand up, it's not about giving a hand out. And we will continue fighting that fight until all 870 million people around the world who need food have it.
Sikhs from the Midlands have travelled to one of the poorest nations in the world to help feed hungry children. The food's being donated in the spirit of Langar, a Sikh tradition dating back 500 years of feeding the homeless or needy. Jars Lacham reports.
At this Birmingham Gurdwara, they dish out 20,000 meals a week, served selflessly by volunteers. This is Langar, free food for all, not just Sikhs, given in a spirit of compassion and equality.
We're helping provide meals to those schools, and with that we see a higher attendance rate. As soon as the meal program stops, there's up to a 70% drop in attendance in schools.
central region at Mukulku School, where we've been serving for a few months now. And we're seeing a transformation in what's been happening at the school. When we first came here, I believe it was June 2016, it was a barren land. There was not much going on. Food's been served here daily. Kids from surrounding villages are coming to this school to learn.
Food really is an enabler for education, and education is the most sustainable way for Malawi to grow out of the poverty that it's living in.
Just imagine, June last year there's no meals here. By June this year, 100,000 meals. We want to thank everyone who supported us, allowed us to get to this position where we are. Thank you once again for your efforts. Without you, this would not be possible.
There you have it, Sangatji. What a fantastic video, and very similar to the school that we went to visit today, where the principal was saying that the biggest challenge is food and children getting food so they can actually study. So we're very lucky today, because here at this part of the exhibition we have Jagjit Singh with us, and I'm hoping that Baji can say a few words and to tell us a little bit about the activities, and to give us a little bit more knowledge and some inspiration about the message that they're conveying, and certainly more than message, the actions that are being done in the various regions that they're working. So Baji, thank you very much for taking a bit of time.
Thank you.
So could you tell us a little bit about the organisation, what you're doing, your source of inspiration, and what's going on at the moment?
Okay, it's almost been a year now since we've been at it. June last year, this time last year, we were speaking to Baisalji about the United Nations goal of zero hunger.
Right.
The Sustainable Development Goals released by United Nations in 2015.
Should we turn that down a little bit?
Yeah, just give it a
Why
second.
not? Because then I can hear you in stereo. It's quite nice, but let's just have mono for now.
Okay, the less you hear me, the better. Right, there you go. 2015, they released the Sustainable Development Goals, one of which is zero hunger.
Right.
We started looking at what the United Nations is doing, and we found that Malawi was number one in the list of malnutrition and poverty. So, look, we have Langar. There's no accident in my mind that the word hunger rhymes with Langar.
Right.
Maharaj have always given that to us.
Wow, yes.
And that's when Zero Hunger with Langar was born.
Fantastic. What a brilliant name as well. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So me, with my being the inner child, went running up to number 7 and sort of said, Babaji, we've got the solution to end world hunger. And they said, what's that? I said, it's Langar. And they said, okay, go and stand in that corner. I thought, okay, this is it. But they took us on a journey, and they told us stories about Malawi. They used to be in Zambia themselves.
Right.
And they basically said, right, okay, get yourself out there. And when I said when, and they said, what are you still doing sitting here?
Wow.
That
okay.
That was sort of
that instant.
Absolutely, just like that. 4 days later, myself, Pritpal Singh and Jaspal Singh, I needed someone who could do videos. I needed someone who could take photos.
Yeah.
And I remember Jaspal Singh taking some photos for Nishgam Help on the weekend. So I thought, okay, I've heard of this guy called Jaspal Singh.
Yeah.
Got his number, texted him, met him for a coffee. Anyway, 4 days later, we're on a plane to Malawi.
Wow, just like that?
Yeah, it was literally like that.
Goodness me.
So we went out there to quantify the problem, see if there is a problem with our own eyes, what's happening on the ground already, apply a bit of a solution, test it,
Yeah.
see if it works. It did. By then we started serving in December 2016. Now we're serving over 30,000 people per month.
That's wonderful. Such a magnificent blessing as well.
Absolutely,
It really
absolutely.
is.
It's a
Really
blessing
is
to be
amazing.
part of it.
So is there a particular message you would like to get out to the people who are going to view this video on the channel, just so as you can kind of convey it? What should they be doing? How can people help? How can people get involved?
Okay, so another story. This has just been a journey of stories. Last year, we were in the remote village in central Malawi, and I was talking to a kid through an interpreter, and I asked him how old he was. He didn't know. I asked him his date of birth. He didn't know. I asked him if he's ever celebrated his birthday. He didn't know. So I thought, okay, let's make this kid happy, right? So I said, look, if you could have anything on earth right now for your birthday, what would you have? With a huge smile on his face, he says, I just want a Fanta. And at that time, it broke my heart, because the aspirations of the kids need to be lifted. Now imagine asking an equivalent 10-year-old in the UK, US, what do you want for your 10th birthday? I think the list would be long as my arm.
Wow, yeah.
And I'm sure if I went to my daughter, who was 10 last year, and said, listen, darling, you're only going to get a bottle of Fanta, I think my life wouldn't be worth living. Right? So, look, we got to help lift the aspirations of these people. something special happened when I came back to the UK and told my daughter that story, and she said,
Right.
well, Dad, of course he can have a birthday, he can have mine.
Wow.
And then there's another light bulb moment.
Right.
And Maharaj have many different ways of delivering messages, whether it's from a child, a Buzurg, wherever it might come
Yeah.
from. Inspiration can be drawn
Yeah,
from anywhere. Then the concept of pledging your birthday came along. We released www.serve.world where people can go and pledge their birthdays.
Right.
Um,
And to just give you an example, Forja Singh Ji, who turned 106 in April, pledged his 106th birthday. You might have seen some of the videos online, but you can check it out on our Facebook page. He pledged his birthday and he managed to raise enough funds to serve 35,000 kids.
35,000, goodness me.
35,000.
That's, wow.
It only costs 15p to serve a child for a day in Malawi. Then Singh Street Sarpardeep Singh Bara from down London, he pledged his birthday. He raised 26,000 meals.
That's amazing.
21-year-olds are coming up to us. They're raising 4,000 meals. You know,
Wow.
everyone's getting on. So that's one way you can help. Pledge your birthday. You're already walking around with the solution to end world hunger with you. It's already inside us, and that's one way.
Right. And how do you find out more about that? Is it on the zerohungerwithlungar.org website?
Yes, if you go to www.serve.world or facebook.com/zerohungerwithlungar, instagram.com/zerohungerwithlungar, all the information is on there. Go to zerohungerwithlungar.org or just contact us. Someone's always monitoring the page all the time, and you can go on the website and pledge from there as well.
That's fantastic. Baji Jagjit Singh, thank you so much for your time. Really very much appreciated.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Waheguru Khalsa,
Waheguru Khalsa,
Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Thank you.